Hey there crewmates, how's it going? It's MiffedCrew here, and today we will be doing a revised theory on a theory that I did quite recently actually, on whether Boris is a good guy or a bad guy, by analysing the model. Now the reason why I'm doing a revised theory here is because some of the main points I pointed out in that video was actually something that the porter decided to add, because these main points was the smile option that he has. Minifig Joe, the person who ported it, actually came into the comments and he was all like, I actually added those. But however, now as you can see, we are still using the same model here. Now considering that, okay, this model has some customizations to it. Now how can we be fully accurate whether Boris has to smile first? Actually, before beginning this video, I'd like to quickly say that these model ports that I'm analysing here are actually from the Source Filmmaker workshop here that people have ported and put onto the workshop. I just want to make that clear here, so please just keep that in mind. Okay, so how can we actually be sure that this isn't customized and that Boris has a smile anyways? We can't say that for sure, but I can take a pretty accurate guess. The reason why is because if we were to go into chapter 1 and look at Boris from a side angle, we can actually see him smiling. He is one happy dead guy. And also a workshop item on Source Filmmaker by Pickle Gamer and Cleroux Animations actually ported the dead Boris model onto the Steam Force Filmmaker. No, I mean Source Filmmaker, sorry, apologies. If we were to go right on ahead and import it here, that is one big Boris, then we can see that he still seems to have a much the same smiley face that he does by default. The game is showing that he has a smiley face. The models are showing that he has a smiley face. I think we can take a pretty wild guess that he seems to have a smiley face regardless. I believe there's even another model that's ported from the game of Boris that still has that smile regardless. So again, of course, these are only workshop items. These are only add-ons from Source Filmmaker, from the Source Filmmaker workshop. So again, I'm just analysing the best I can and reading out as much information as I can to make sure that I'm not missing anything that the porters have put in the description or anything like that here. Now, of course, just because he has a smile, like I said in the theory video, even if he does have a smile, it might not matter if he smiles or not. I mean, look at Friendly. Friendly? Who the heck he's Friendly? No, I mean Bendy, sorry. If we look at Bendy, his face is full of joy. He has a smile all over it. He's like one of the main characters that are trying to kill you here, so you know, a smile might not really mean much here. However, I would also like to go for some general points of the game. So yes, Boris is smiling in the game, from what I can work out in chapter 1. However, Boris is the first character in the game who doesn't look all inked up and stuff. Like, he's not all inky like Bendy is and Sammy Laurence is. He looks like he is how he's supposed to look here, unlike Bendy, who's clearly all inky, and so is Sammy Laurence, very inky as well. So from what it looks like to me so far, Boris just seems like Boris, not an inky, corrupted, I guess, version of Boris like Bendy and Sammy Laurence. So I'm going to go and say that it's possible that Boris's personality depends on what he's like in the cartoons. If he's a neutral character, let's say, in the cartoons, then that would mean that he's probably going to be a neutral character in Bendy and the Ink Machine. If he's an evil character in the cartoons, he's probably going to be evil. If he's a good character in the cartoon, he's probably going to be a goodie. However, that's only one point. It could either depend on what he's generally like in the cartoons, or it could be like, cartoons come to life, yippee! If we look back at chapter 1 here, we can see that in the first version of chapter 1, Boris and Bendy looks different. In the later update then, we had Boris looking more like he is today, and Bendy looking more like he is today in the currently available versions of the game. So considering that this game is always updating as we go further into the game, then I wouldn't be surprised if Boris was to have more facials like angry face, sad face, neutral face even, things like that. There is also a point I would like to cover as well, is that we could even look at it the other way around. What if his smile doesn't mean that he's good? What if it actually means that he's evil? The Bendy cardboards that pop around the corner, they look funny, what? Their cute little face, he's a beaming smile, but we know that actually means that something bad is going on around here. If we look at Bendy, the ink demon, he has a smile all over his face. He's like one of the main characters that try to kill you. If you look at Sammy Laurence, he has a Bendy mask over his face, which has a smile all over it. He's also another one of the characters that tries to kill you. The enemies that you fight off against, they don't really have much faces, so it's hard to tell for sure. So I guess you could say that, you know, smiles don't mean good. They actually mean evil in the Bendy world. They mean that something bad is about to happen. In which case, it's very possible that Boris could actually be an evil character here. But still, it's like, he's also the first character we've come across that, one, hasn't tried to attack us straight away, and two, doesn't look all inky like Sammy Laurence does and Bendy does. One more thing that I'd like to mention here that I didn't think to mention at the time is that even though Boris has a smile, it might not mean that he's smiling. A good example of this could be seen in chapter 1 where we find Boris dissected, dead, strapped to a bed. Personally, when I generally see Boris dissected on the bed, looking pretty dead, he doesn't look too happy to me unless I actually look out for his smiling mouth, and then I can see that he's actually smiling. So the point that I'm getting at is that even though he might be smiling, if the angles are done within a particular way, then it might look like that he's not smiling, even if the model itself shows him smiling. I also noticed that there's a sign in the same room that Boris has been dissected in, as well as next to a poster of Boris that says, "Who's laughing now?" I suppose it's possible that the reason why Boris has been dissected is because Boris made someone mad, so as a result they dissected Boris and wrote on the wall, "Who's laughing now?" like it's some sort of revenge or something like that. Also, something interesting as well is that right after we activate the ink machine and just before we get jump scared by Bendy, if we were to go into Boris's room, then walk into Boris's poster, we can actually go straight through the wall and find a room that has TheMeatly's puppet in it, much like we can see in chapter 2. Which also involves walking through a poster of Boris. I find that pretty interesting. This could either mean 3 things from what I can work out. 1. Boris is TheMeatly's favourite Bendy and the Ink Machine character, or at least one that he particularly likes. 2. This is hinting to something that we are yet unaware of, and that we can maybe try and figure out for ourselves. Or 3. It's just coincidence. And I'm going to go right on ahead and phone in number 4 here and say that it's possible that TheMeatly himself, or at least TheMeatly's puppet, could actually be hinting towards something, whether it's having TheMeatly himself or TheMeatly's puppet as part of the actual lore, or whether they're symptoms representing something. Or maybe it's anything else, who knows? I'm not sure what I think about this, to be honest, but it is definitely possible that TheMeatly is hinting towards something through these Boris posters. Also, a quick apology for the change of quality. I'm currently on holiday in Cyprus, in the mountains. Anyway, let's go back to the past when I was recording at home in England. Now that the revised theory itself is over here, here is a preview of the Bendy and the Ink Machine song I've been working on. Here we are now. Here we are, face to face with a wolf. What we saved? What we done for? Will we just continue on? But Boris, you were dead. I saw it with my own eyes. I need some time. I need to reflect to see what has arise. At 9 o'clock in the morning, got out of bed to end my snoring. By 10 my life just felt quite boring. Gotta get to work while yawning. Got better by 10:30. He was from an orphan I worked with back then. He needs to show me something, my old job. Well, I guess it's time for a reunion. At the moment, I'm thinking it's going to be a song about all the chapters, basically. Because chapter 3 is definitely going to be released by then. Now that I'm really getting into how to make songs, why not express my fandom in a way that I've been wanting to for ages, really. I've never really known how to. Now that I think I'm finally getting somewhere, then I'm very excited to finally express the music! That was really out of tune. Oh dear. I'm nowhere near ready. Here's a picture of an item that's going to be in the animation I'm doing on chapter 3. It's basically a crossbow. The crossbow model I can link down in the description. The textures though, for the Bendy texture was textured by me. Went and Gimp and just did some stuff. So I personally think it came out pretty nicely actually. I'm a big head, aren't I? That's Bendy and the Ink Machine chapter 3 animated. It's literally only an animated idea of what happens right after the ending of chapter 2 when Henry and Boris bump into each other, should we say. And yes, I'm really hoping to get it out before chapter 3 actually gets released. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I mean, it's supposed to be chapter 3 animated fan made. Now, of course I could call it alternative outcomes, but then again, I don't really want to come across as someone who's saying, "Oh, the game ain't good enough, I need to do something, I'm going to do my own version." Yeah, I don't want to be like that. Then again, I could just be overthinking things. I overthink a lot, I need to work on that. If it's released somewhere in the middle of September, like the 15th, then I might be able to just about make it. If it's released a little bit on the late side, like the 20th, let's say, I should be able to just make it. A bit less of a push if it was on the 15th. I'm not too sure. That's pretty much all for now, crewmates. Thank you for watching. It's MiffedCrew here, and I'll be back with more videos coming soon. Goodbye, crewmates.